In a time before the earth, before the sun, and before the light of the stars, when all was darkness and chaos, the old gods, the forgotten gods, ruled the darkness. But what was theirs now belongs to the world of light and substance. And the old gods, the rightful masters, are jealous, watching mankind with a hatred that is as boundless as the stars, with plans for the destruction of man that are beyond imagining.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nick the Rat Radio, the only podcast coming to you from a sewer of Brooklyn, New York. Today is April 12th. Wow, it's not even 420 yet. When is 420? Hold on a second. Is that next week? Yeah, it's next week's episode. Next week's episode, I might have an interview with somebody. But let's not talk about that right now. Let's talk about being in the sewer, Brooklyn, New York, episode 381. Nick the Rat Radio. Let's open a beer. Started up the show a little bit late today. Looks like my Icecast server does not want to take my username and password. I'm able to log into the admin webpage portal, but it's stopped. So, yeah, if you're not hearing this right now, I can't really tell you what to do. Let's open the beer here. There we go. Drinking a little bit of Lone Star tonight. A Lone Star beer. Very, very yummy. What are we talking about tonight? Tonight we are discussing... What are we talking about? Oh, yeah. Weird shit. Yeah. That's what we're talking about tonight, everybody. Weird shit. You're talking... Yeah. Lone Star. Jam the radio. You're talking about Spaceballs. Spooky. I see you in the chat. I read the chat. People might not know this, but I do read the chat. If you want to chat, you could go to nicktherat.com and click on social. There's an IRC chat, there's a Discord chat, and there's a Twitch chat. I don't think Twitch chat is connected, though. Because, yeah, I'm having issues all over the place here. Things are just falling apart. Let's see if the Twitch chat it's working. Okay, yo, does that go through? That goes through. All right, yeah, the Twitch, this shit and that shit. Yes, Twitch does suck, William. I do agree. But, hey, it's free. It lets me put this shit out there. It lets me get to those Jeff Bezos bucks. It's just because something sucks, something you can't, like YouTube. I fucking hate YouTube, but I use it kind of like as a backup file service, But, sometimes you gotta be the bootlicker. Sometimes you just have to bend over and take it, right? And Jeff Bezos bucks. Well, thank you so much. Cheers. Really nice weather in New York today. Very warm day. Last week it was about 30 degrees. Today it was 80. So, yeah, fucking. There's never in between. There's never. It really pisses me off. I think I really gotta get out of here. New York is like, it's either freezing or hot as shit. There's like no spring in New York. There's no 60, 70 degree weather. It goes from like 30 to 80. It's very, very annoying. But it's nice out. I went outside today. I was wearing a jacket, and then I was like, what the fuck am I wearing a jacket for? I almost died because it was so damn hot. Yeah, it's not. Now it's a little bit it's a little foggy out, so you might hear some foghorns. The studio is near water. We are in downtown Brooklyn in the Bay Ridge area. If anybody wanted to stalk me out, that's where the studio is located, in one of the sewers under a deli in Bay Ridge. Yeah, so you might hear some foghorns. I got the window open. It's hot as shit in the studio tonight. Also, I've been hearing the most annoying thing. It's a cat in heat going on out here. There's a cat in heat, everybody. Now, I don't know if you know of this guy named Vito on YouTube, but he said that I might have to go outside during the break, find this cat, and stick a Q-tip up its hoo-ha. So told by Vito. Yeah, I'm like sitting here doing the show, and I hear like, and I'm like, somebody out there fucking? Is there fucking going on out there? So, it catches my attention. I got the cup against the window. I'm trying to like amplify, trying to listen in, trying to geolocate the fucking. So maybe I could catch a titty or something. But no, it was a cat. It's just a fucking cat in heat out there. Chris the cat could be. Yeah. So that's what's going on right now in the sewer. But let's we're gonna have phone calls later. We got some stories. We got some news. We got some weird shit to talk about tonight. The tip of the cue. Tip of the cue to you, Fletcher. Tip of the cue. All right, everybody in the chat. We are going to take a quick music scat break, and then we will be right back, and we're going to talk about some other stuff there. But right now, we have... Oh yeah, tonight's music, I think mostly are like no cap bangers, I think. Kay and Neo with Flowers. Nope. I can't believe I said that.
I didn't wanna leave.
Welcome back. What the hell was that? That was a remix. I usually try and I don't like to play remixes because they use too much copyrighted stuff in there. Now it's supposed to be CC by 3.0, but I don't think that was Millie Cyrus. Millie Cyrus. I can't be playing no Millie Cyrus on the show. I'm a little nervous now. They might pull this shit down. Oh fuck. Yikes. Last night I was up late talking to Sir Seat Sitter. Is that how he goes? That's what he likes to be called, Sir Seat Sitter? He doesn't have like a different name? Like Samuel the Seat Sitter? But yeah, I was on Abs in a Six Pack, and we were talking about super soldiers. Head and Shoulders. If you it might be live now. I don't know if he posted it yet, but Chris? His name is I thought it'd be like Sam or something with an S. So the show is really good. It made me realize that the more you think about stuff, the more it just turns into like a big old wad of shit-covered toilet paper. Very wet and thin and sticky. It doesn't really hold together very well, the stories. But it seems like our lives exist around stories. Like basically, you and me are here today because of stories. Even if these stories are toilet paper thin and full of shit. He was telling me about these giant soldiers that this one king was getting, and basically the more we were talking about it, I think the king was just having sex with big dudes. And then you start to wonder what other stories out there today are just like completely bunky Brewster, Bunktholomew, Bunkthamus. Oh man, I don't do this usually either, but I gotta look for this here. Maybe I won't talk while I look. Maybe we'll just take a quick little commercial ad break here, and I'm going to look for something, and I'm going to whip it out. I'm going to put it on the table, and you're going to stare at it, and you'll be like, holy crap, that's huge. I mean, we'll be right back with something I want to listen to, but we're going to listen to this first.
Into the deepest jungles went Pressman toy makers looking for something new. The secret they brought back for you is incredible. The Pressman Witch Doctor Head Shrinkers Kit. Plastic flesh, mixing cauldron, and petrifying potion. Just pour it into the mold, and in minutes you can add monster hair. Paint it with a coloring kit included, or make up your own decorations. In 24 hours, the heads shrink down. Now, shrunken heads for all occasions. Collect them, swap them, give them to your Witch Doctor friends. You can always cook up more with Pressman's Witch Doctor Head Shrinkers Kit.
All right, I have that thing. It doesn't work. My head is still the same size. This is a little bit long, this thing that I want to listen to, but I thought it was very entertaining, and it kind of illustrates how everything is just bullshit. Well, this is also just a bullshit clip anyway. This is if you already listened to this, you know what it is. Elon Musk was on the BBC, and the BBC was asking him some asinine questions, and Elon was able to deflect these questions, and he flipped it around, and he made the BBC look like a bunch of idiots. Now, I'm not a big Elon Musk fan. I'm not on his jock, as they used to say back in the day. I do find him to be entertaining, though. I find Elon Musk to be entertaining. That's about it. Okay, I don't love Elon Musk. I think he's a little weird. But I enjoyed this little clip here. I'm just going to play this here. Just have a...
So let's get down to business, and we start with the exclusive interview that took place in...
No, don't...
4.5 billion.
Hold on.
These are rough numbers. Revenue dropped from 4.5 billion to 3, and expenses went from 4.5 to 6, creating a $3 billion negative cash flow situation, and Twitter having $1 billion in the bank. That's 4 months to live.
All right, this is a bad clip. This is not what I was looking for. Let's try this one.
We've spoken to people very recently who were involved in moderation, and they just say there's not enough people to police this stuff, particularly around hate speech in the company. Is that something that you want to address?
Talking about? I mean, you use Twitter,
right?
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
but just a personal anecdote. Like, what do you? I don't.
Personally, my for you, I would see I get more of that kind of content. Yeah, personally.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I don't.
You can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore. Because I just don't particularly like it. I only look at my following.
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example. Not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and
how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
You can't give a single one.
And I'm saying
I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet, and yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
that's false. People will say all sorts of nonsense. I'm literally asking for a single example, and you can't name one.
Right, and as I already said, I don't use that feed. But
then how would you know that?
I don't think this is getting anywhere.
You literally said you experienced more hateful content, and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and as I said,
that's absurd.
I haven't actually looked at that feed.
Then how would you know there's hateful content?
Because I'm saying that's what I saw a few weeks ago. I can't give you an exact example. Let's move on. We only have a certain amount of time. COVID misinformation.
Oh, they didn't continue on the clip. All right, instead of me fumbling this fucking football constantly, I'll just... The COVID shit, the BBC reporter starts asking Elon about about COVID misinformation. And then Elon says, hey, has the BBC ever gotten anything wrong? And he's like, yeah. Yeah. The Twitter is very strange. It got big and it started to take over the news cycle, and the news cycle is part of some evil. Shut the hell up, cat out there. There's the Zeke guys try to take over, Twitter and try to control the narrative, and then Elon came in and kind of fucking shat on it, but the news cycle people still need Twitter because that's where all the people still are. These programs come and they go, kind of like feed that cat, feed it a Q-tip up its butt. There's it's a lot of weed. I'm trying to roll a joint over here. You never know what's going to be the next big thing. Like currently, TikTok is, and the establishment has lost control of most of the narrative because all the users went over to TikTok. The people don't watch TV anymore. Well, some do. That's why they still got some power there. But it's also very funny that he was like, can you name something that was hateful that you saw? The guy can't do it because if he names something that's hateful, he's probably going to be wrong. Like, he might be like, well, somebody said that they don't like cats. So that was the hate speech that I saw. Or he could say something like, he get into something more serious, like gun rights or some shit. But that's just all. That's not hate. That's just opinions, man. These people need to get the fucking. If you don't like what somebody's saying, if you don't like what somebody's making, if you don't like the media, then you kind of have to make your own. You have to. You can't complain and get rid of stuff. You have to nut up or shut up. And society doesn't really do that. Most people just complain. You got all the old ladies writing letters to people and whatnot. And if it's not the old ladies writing letters, it's the corporations with all the money that control us telling people what to say on the thing you can say you can't say. Also, if he was to point out some hate speech, it would be he would have repeated the hateful thing. Like he might have been like, maybe I was on my Twitter feed and somebody said that fat white women are annoying. You know, that would be you just said something hateful, even though you're just repeating it. Either way, okay. Look, ow! We're gonna take another quick music break while I roll this joint. I'm gonna roll it up. I'm gonna lick this shit. I'm still upset about my server being down. This is the first time in 5 years where I'm not streaming on my own server. Whoa! This neighborhood, they got people in these muscle cars. Is calling them a rice burner still? Is that racist, calling them a rice burner? I know that has Asian inclinations to it. But it's like, did people actually put rice in their cars? Why do they call them... well, this part of Bay Ridge is mostly... what are they called? Hold on one second here. I'm trying to not be say anything wrong here. And most of the people that live over here are Persian. Between like the 70s and the 60s, from like 76th Street down to about 69th Street, like a 10-block radius. It's very, very Persian people that live here, and there's a lot of young Persian men that have these rice burner cars, or should we call them like instead of rice burners, like curry burners? I don't know the best way to. Anyway, they drive really loud. They go really fast and drive like shit. Fletcher, that was racist. All right, let's listen to this next song here. We have Up in the Club by Marcus Howard. This also sounds like it might be a goddamn, what is this, remix? What is this?
We up in the club.
You up in the club. Hold on one second here. Just try one more thing for the stream. Show password. Let's do here, do this, and then that, and then save, and then connect. Nope, that doesn't work. Fuck it. All right. We're gonna thank some people. Everybody. Let's thank some people. First, let's light this joint for helping make this show a possibility. You guys are helping me pay for these servers that I can't log into. Thank you, people. I have a problem with eating my fingernails. Yeah, it's a big-ass monitor, huh, Ducky? You like that shit? It's extra wide. You could take a picture of my pecker and almost get it to fill up the whole screen. They up in the club. All right, let's thank some people here. We got a P.O. box. Nick the Rat Radio, P.O. Box 90549, Brooklyn, New York, 11209. Inflation-adjusted chargeback. 69 cents from Sir Mike Crotch. Dr. Mike Crotch. Thank you. Sir Dr. Crotch. These Lone Star beers are cool because they have the cap with the little game show on the bottom of it. You know, like the Pictionary show. This one has a bed, or look. You bed and or look. You better look. And then there's a TW and an ice cube. You better look twice. You can't beat me, Lone Star. That's when you know you're getting a good beer, when there's a little game show on the bottom of the cap. What is this one? Oh, this is a time on my hands. There's a watch on top of some hands. Ow. Okay. Let's thank some other people. You go to nicktherat.com, click on donate. And you could send some stuff to there. Let's put this out here. Ow. Oh, no. Ew. Okay. Let's thank some people that have donated to Nick at nicktherat.com. Donate using PayPal. There's a $4.20 monthly subscription, or there's whatever you want. Let's see if anybody has sent me anything this week. We got a cancellation. We got NW. Oh, yeah, I say initials and the note and the number. I don't dox people. We got NW with 420. NW, you've been around a long time. Continued support. Thank you. And finally, we got 2 donations this week. This one comes from Tajunta. Tajunta with 420. I just put it out, but maybe I'll light it up again. No, I'll wait on that. I'll wait a little bit. But Tajunta, thank you so much for the donation. And also, there is Twitch donations. If you have a Amazon Prime account, you could give me a free $3 or some crap a month. Yeah, just like Ducky On did. Ducky On resubbed with their Prime account, and they've been subbed for 45 months. Holy moly. And also Son of Sneck. Thank you for the follow. These are all the donations this week. Yeah, that's You guys are great. I just want to say thank you to everybody, even if you... Good night, Spooky. What's wrong? What happened? Feeling kind of weird? Is it because you got all that confetti deep in your eyes? Deep in your ojos? You don't want to be... you don't want to get confetti deep in your ojos. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in there, Spooky. Thank you, everybody, for listening, tuning in, submitting stuff. You could send me stuff. I'll play pretty much anything on the show. A weirding module. You get submit stuff. I'll play it. As long as it's like under 5 minutes, and it's not too offensive. I usually don't scan anything. So, but either way. Just want to say thank you to everybody, because if you're listening to a show like this, you have to have a decent heart, because I can't imagine some evil giant soldiers listening to this show. I don't know what I'm saying here. We are going to play a couple of advertisements first, though, because basically there was only a couple of donations. So to make up for that, I have to play some mega corporations selling stuff to you. I have to make you listen to mega corporations sell you stuff. And that's how I'm going to get paid this week. And so be it. We'll be right back with more Nick the Rat, and I hope you guys have... what the hell is this? What the fuck is going on here? Sorry, everybody. Hold on 1 second here. There we go. All right, let's play some advertisements. We'll be right back.
In a world where common citizens rebel against constant surveillance, a man finds a weakness when his Chinese buddy hands over stolen plans about altered alcohol that destroys the brain's ability to control where to poop. That's how they're controlled now, when they cannot control it anymore. Invasion of the fecal recognition satellites. Go ahead, take a shit if you don't think they're looking.
Look, here is the new Band-Aid plastic strip with new Super Stick. It sticks better than any other bandage. The proof? Take a dry egg at room temperature. Touch the egg with any other bandage. Brand X, brand Y, brand Z. Not one sticks. But a Band-Aid plastic strip with new Super Stick sticks tight instantly. Watch it again in slow motion. No pressure, yet we can lift the egg, even boil it. And the Band-Aid plastic strip never comes loose.
Maybe you don't want to broil eggs this way, but you do want the extra protection of Band-Aid plastic strips. They take better care of little cuts and scratches. They stay put.
Yes, even in hot, soapy dishwater. Neat, flesh-colored, almost invisible. Band-Aid plastic strips with new Super Stick stick better than any other bandage. Made only by Johnson & Johnson, the most trusted name in surgical dressings. Be sure you get Band-Aid plastic strips.
Hello, my fellow Dark Sewer citizens. My name is Donald T. Chump. I want to build a wall and they won't let me. So I went to the Dark Sewer scientists and they informed me that the kids love Lego bricks. So we're gonna build Lego bricks walls all over the fucking place. Listen here. You could buy a bucket of Lego bricks and you give it to your kids and they're gonna build the wall for me. Call now, get a bucket, $69.99. We're building a wall. It's gonna be made of Lego bricks straight from the Dark Sewer Network. Don't forget to tell them Donald T. Chump sent you. Build a wall.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Nick the Rat Radio. How you doing? Giant Persians. Yes. Yes, sir, indeed. Oh, actually, we should open up the phone lines here. If you'd like to give a call in, you could do that right now. You could give me a call at 917-719-5923. Hopefully the phone line works. The audio stream isn't working. I did open a ticket with them, though, but I'm not expecting an answer tonight. So if you're trying to listen to the stream still, you don't hear this. I love me some beer. Caller.
Hello, caller.
Caller.
Yeah. I turned
Caller.
the speaker off. What up, Nick? I got you, bro.
There's a...
Dude, right away I
some
called
boogers?
you. I found you. It's me. It's William.
Hey, what's going on, man? How
called
you doing?
It's the fourth time I've talked with you.
I hope
Miles, settle down.
I hope things are looking better.
Finally, this guy comes out of his room. Getting nard. Have you ever heard that, Nick? Somebody say getting nard?
I heard of nards as being balls. There was like in that the monster movie with the kids getting kicked in the nards. Wolfman's got nards.
It's similar. I think he takes it from Narnia, and he made it up on his own, kind of. Never heard. Yeah, there he goes.
I've heard of Narnia.
Just came out of his room.
When
playing the show, man, it's been a great show so far, Nick.
When there's people missing in action, we usually say they're in Narnia, fucking around.
When people are missing in action, they're in Narnia.
Fucking around.
He likes it. What are you thinking tonight, Nick?
Thinking about some weird shit and how words manifest into reality.
I like that idea. He's thinking about how words manifest into reality. It's beautiful.
It's very strange stuff.
I don't care because like I screw myself with those. If that's true, then like I've been calling myself a loser for a long time, Nick.
You see, no, caller. See, this is the problem. You can't do that.
I can and have.
Well, you can, but
and maybe I'm wrong. So what? What's wrong with being humble?
Then again, you're right. Because if you start saying like you're a super smart, super cool dude,
yeah, I don't want to be an asshole who's a loser for real and is not aware of it. If I'm really a loser, then I should just tell people sometimes, like, hey, that sucks. Okay?
Maybe you could embellish the loserness. You know? Be like, I might be a loser,
I'm not
but
going to be the guy who's like, I'm a rock and roll scientist and I crush everybody, even though I suck. It doesn't make sense. I'm not going to lie to people. I'm very honest. My mom used to tell people I'm honest to a fault.
Is your name Abe? Wait, no, it's William. Sorry.
No, that's a myth. That guy didn't really. It's something people used to spread, and I think he was really kind of.
He was a lying motherfucker, wasn't he? See, this is what I mean about words: is manifesting into reality.
I have heard that about him. I don't want to like go on the record and say I'm an expert on Abe Lincoln or anything, Nick, but I might have heard something about him.
What'd you hear?
Some bad stuff.
Are you an
expert? He didn't love his mother the same way I do. Okay?
What?
He had problems with his mom. I know that for sure. I ain't got no problems with my mom, and she's gone, and I miss her.
Oh.
So that's the thing me and Abe Lincoln don't have in common, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of that guy necessarily.
I never met him. I don't know.
Martin Luther King is another example who's kind of a womanizer and bad guy. People want to talk about him. Okay, cool.
I never met him.
Did some good stuff.
He might have been really cool. He might have been a tool.
He
might have been a fool.
Hey, he wasn't the same kind of husband my dad was. My dad was a good husband. He loved my mom, and they were best friends.
Did they kill Martin Luther King's kids?
Cheated all the time.
Or was that Malcolm X?
My parents never cheated on each other, and I'm really proud of that.
Well, how do you know? Maybe they
I
cheated.
knew.
Maybe
I
they
knew
cheated
my
so
entire
good.
life, dude. It was really cool. When you grow up knowing that, it's cool. I knew it the whole way. Awesome. It's a cool feeling. I can't imagine what other people go through when their parents cheat on each other. And I know it happens like all the fucking, like way more than half the time.
Most
Except
people
that
probably have
didn't
really
happen with-
shitty parents.
Did not happen with my parents. My parents did not cheat on each other after I was born. And they blamed me. And that does not happen. Like, if I got to feel special about something, there it is.
There you go. You should feel lucky about that.
Kinda. It's cool. Then they died together in the house I grew up in, rock and roll. They were best friends in their 60s. They smoked and drank and... Ooh, I'm going to do the same thing.
They died together? Like at the same time?
No, like 2 years apart.
Oh.
But both in the same house and both of heart attacks.
That sucks.
So, like, I spent the 2 years after Mom with my dad very close to him. I moved from another state to where he was living down the street, which he paid for.
That probably kept them around a lot longer. There seems to be like if like the wife or the husband dies, usually the wife or the husband that didn't die dies soon after. It's like heartbroken. They're like heartbroken.
It sounds cliche, but maybe you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. It just sounds cliche to me.
Well, because
so I get warning signs when I hear some cliche stuff. You know,
you do get you kind of give up. If you really love somebody and then they leave, part of you gives up. And I think giving up does manifest into reality too.
I do think that's what my dad did.
He was just like, fuck it.
Like when I went back home and lived near him for a couple of years, I thought he was going to be around for 20 more years. Like, all right, this is cool. I got comfortable. Then he died. I'm like, what the fuck? So, like, I was wrong, but I think you're right about that. Like, he didn't want to go. He didn't want to keep hanging out with me. He was done. His best friend was gone. It probably crushed him. Like, my mom was a cool chick, Nick. And I wouldn't want to be around without her if I was him either. So I understand. My papa, like, he was a crushed soul to begin with. So, like, finding my mom was probably awesome for him. Like, I'm my mom. My sister's kind of a shithead. And that's kind of more like our dad. But our dad's still cool. But we got the same mom and dad. And they needed each other for sure. And they were always together once they met each other. And we never doubted that about them. And I think that's what's special about it. Nobody ever doubted those two. The whole time they were together. They were just like buddies. Watching sports and arguing. Talking shit.
Is your sister single?
There, Nick? Hey, my man. Why are you listening to me anyway? Am I that important?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Is that your sister in the background?
I got a two-hearted bells is what's in my hand, Nick. Have you ever heard that brew?
I think those are called nards.
Nards. He said that. I think those are called nards.
Are you cradling some nards?
I guess so. That's what you said. Can't argue.
You could argue it. I'm telling you, you don't have to.
My phone's beeping like somebody's calling me, but that doesn't make any sense to me.
Who's calling you? Is it the FBI?
I'm not even. I'm
CIA?
not gonna look. I refuse to look, dude. It's disrespect to Nick or the Rat if I look at my phone right now, and I don't even want to recognize who the fuck is beeping. They can kiss my ass, dude. Nick the Rat is on the phone.
Do you work for the CIA?
Piss off. Yeah, we're in the sewer.
Caller? That's weird. Let's listen to a voicemail. I hope everything's okay. What? Is that the cat? Is the calling from east to the west? You're on Nick the Rat Radio.
From the Minneapolis. How are you, Nick the Rat?
The Minneapolis.
Oh yeah, you know it.
What is that Minneapolis?
Yeah. I'll tell you when you're older.
Minneapolis. Now I'm imagining an apple with a tiny mouth.
No. You're imagining an apple with a lot of lips.
It's not called little asshole lips. It's mini apple lips.
Yo, but what that mini apple lips do?
It's sucking on that little mini apple butt.
Oh my goodness.
Also, lips could be anal lips. You got lips on your butt, right? Is your butthole lips?
I hope so, man.
Oh, it's midnight in the sewer.
Start. Oh,
thank you, Servo. Reminding me. Cheers.
What up, Servo? I would be hanging out in the sewer chat, but alas, I'm stuck behind my lighting console trying to get some stuff programmed.
Ooh, what are you programming?
Lights.
Oh. Are you using a Raspberry Pi?
No, it's a ETC, Electronic Theater Controls lighting console called the Elements.
Uh-huh.
This thing was new when I was in college at 2010. It had already been out for 2 years, so it's got some years under its belt.
How involved are you? Soldering, or are you just
Not this time, man. Holy shit. Thank God not this time. I did have this really nice idea where I was going to do a teacup curtain and put little 4 diode LED pucks in there that were 4-color, and then insert them into each one of the teacups, some plastic teacups, and then I was going to have fiber optic cables come out, kind of cascade out of the cup. But just ran out of time, man. Couldn't do it. Couldn't pull it off.
So you live in the dark right now?
Oh yeah.
You don't get them lights set up? How do you program them? Are you using C++?
No, it's a proprietary software released by ETC. The software is called EOS, EOS, and it's just lighting control software.
What could you control the time it goes on or off, or the brightness, the lumens?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, really any parameters inside of light, whether it be intensity, strobe, shutters, images, or gobos.
It sounds like a lot of work just to get some light.
Wheels. Yeah, you're fucking telling me, man.
These better be nice lights. Does it MIDI?
Sorry, what was that?
Does it MIDI?
Yeah. It MIDIs. It takes SMPTE time code. So let's say you got I've seen it done on Joseph and the Dreamcoat where the drummer had a MIDI tie-in on one of his kick pedals. Or I'm sorry, there was a trigger on an electronic trigger on the bass head. So every time you hit that kick pedal during this one particular song, there would be this yellow flash that would wash across the stage, like boom, 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 flash, flash, flash.
Nice.
Yeah. or audio consoles can send triggers to fire off specific cues. It's pretty versatile stuff. It's an unending rabbit hole.
But you're doing this
You're not
in your
allowed to say
house,
that
right?
anymore,
You're doing
but-
this in your house, or like a stadium, or?
No, it's my theater.
You have a theater in your house?
I wish. That'd be cool, man.
Well, I'm
Nothing
coming
but
over.
Evil
Let's
Dead
watch
on repeat. We're gonna watch Evil Dead the movie, and then we're gonna perform Evil Dead the musical back to back.
Can we watch Evil Dead Rises?
I hope so. I hope so, man.
I hope it's
You
good.
know, me too. I was actually very much into the remake, and I think we've talked about this before. But I really enjoyed the Evil Dead remake.
I think since then I've watched the first 30 minutes of it, and I was enjoying it. I didn't get to watch more of it, but I need to watch that. I heard it was good.
And because it's not, yes, you still end up with the cabin in the woods scenario, but just this whole added layer of a detox situation just really like amps up the sort of psychological terror, which is cool. And it's awesome to see the Deadites modernized, and they're like, you know, real kind of pervy and sweary and all that, you know? You know? If you know, you know.
But if you don't know, now you know.
How can you expect me? How can you expect me to know the things that I don't know? What is this? Get me out of this clown car.
You just word up manifestations until you know.
I'm thinking. I was actually talking to a very dear friend of mine. You may have heard of him. Could be Lovish. I was talking about this today. I was like, you know what? I'm sensing some super intense intention work over the summer.
Intention work?
Super intense. Yeah.
Intensive intention? What are you talking about here?
I just want to start really cultivating seeds that would put me in a position where I could be my own boss to some capacity. I don't know what it's going to entail.
Oh, you want to be, you want to work for yourself.
Yeah.
Doing lights?
Yeah.
Doing lighting and stuff? Or programming lights?
You know, if I fully embrace trying to do gig work again, it would be really disruptive to the podcast, and the podcast is more important to me than continuing trying to pursue any sort of high dollar fucking theater gig, because you know you got to have the proper paperwork, and I don't have it. So
if I gave you $20, could you hook up a light to my toilet bowl flusher? So when I jiggle the handle or something, like it starts shooting out lasers.
I would do it for 6,969 satoshis, which would be a steal. That's less than $1, or about $1. It's like $2, I bet.
I don't think I've ever seen anything attached to a toilet bowl flusher. Like, why aren't there like sound effects or something? Or lights?
Could be fun.
Or maybe a heated one, a heated handle jiggler? A glow-in-the-dark one? Anything. Just like, there's no innovation in the toilet handles. Flushers.
Oops, shit. Oops, I fucked up. Shit.
I want to replace my flusher with a Fletcher. So when you flush, he screams.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. I'll play with some Satoshi.
I am a disgusting boy.
Wait. Are you Booberry?
I am. Are you Nick the Rat?
I knew it. Actually, I didn't know it until I did like mental gymnastics.
Oh, started to connect the dots and tie in the red strands.
So are you
Between the
married
thumbtacks.
to Lovish?
Huh?
Are you guys
I should be.
Are you guys more than just do you just podcast together, or are you like lovers, or?
We are destined for the karaoke stage together.
It's okay. So I wasn't sure. I didn't know how far the partnership went. They're shooting fireworks off over here.
If Lavish was like, hey, I need a lighting guy for a very specific thing, I'd be like, say no more. I got you, fam.
Tell him you want to hook up some lights to his toilet bowl. A glass
Lavish,
top. On the top of the tank, it needs to be glass. And when you pull the flusher down, lasers shoot out of the back of your toilet, and there's so many possibilities.
There's just activities for days. I'm very much into the glow in the dark stuff. I think that would be very fun.
Glow in the dark stuff is cool.
I like it. I like it when it glows in the dark.
Do they have the opposite of glow in the dark? Like dark in the light? I want like a shadowy stuff.
Kind of sounds like that. You fucking roll up on a refrigerator and you see the sign. It's like still works, but the light's broken inside.
Van to Black, yeah. Actually, Servo's so smart. Do you ever talk to Servo, this weird robot in the chat room?
Servo and I can throw down. He's done some cool stuff.
He's I think he might be the black, the super black that could just absorb all light is kind of like.
I thought you were saying Servo was super black.
Servo is super.
He might be. He might be. No judgment, of course. Love people from all backgrounds.
I like the super yellow people the most.
Super.
Well, if he's super black, super yellow. They need to get rid of skin color.
Yeah, I mean it's a little played out. It's not even the rallying cry anymore.
They need to get rid of everything. They need to get rid of everything. We need to start over. We need to go back to basics.
Back to basics.
Back to we've made so many words, and we threw them up into our society. It clutters it up. We need to get rid of most of it. We could start with skin color. We could probably get rid of, probably even get rid of gender in society. Like, just make bathrooms. We need to change bathrooms.
I think you got plenty of people on that case already. Just gotta bide your time in that regard.
I thought they wanted more genders. I want less genders.
I don't know, man. I presume to know nothing.
I want less grades at school. There just needs to be school.
Oh.
There shouldn't be like first grade, second grade, third grade. There should just be school.
Yeah, we did the homeschooling thing, and I know it's not quite exactly what you were getting at, but being able to have sort of tailored lessons where you're not just, I mean, that was like the worst part about doing the homeschooled stuff is we still had to work out of textbooks. But in some ways, I mean, it kind of worked out because, like, you know, we used a lot of college textbooks.
Textbooks are good.
College textbooks.
Especially for, like, math. Textbooks aren't good for history and stuff, but
Oh yeah, you should. If you find yourself at some time, you should fall down the Bob Jones University college math textbook rabbit hole.
it's good.
It's like, it's like, oh, we're going to learn some math, but also about Jesus at the same time. Very Christian.
Blueberry, I think Lavish in the chat is very wrong. He says kids segregate themselves by age. I think that kids think they do, but it's not them. It's the people putting. But it's. I'm guessing you're saying like, oh, he's a freshman. Well, the fact that the establishment said that they're freshmen, and then their age, is why they separate themselves. The kids segregate themselves by everything, especially if society lets them. So I don't think it's really the kids doing it. I think it's more of society doing it than the kids doing it.
You pave them a road, and they're bound to take it.
Yeah, so if we got rid of grades and race and everything, then there would be no, there wouldn't be much of anything. But it'll be different. Let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm fairly certain we're like 23 iterations deep of whatever you want to call the human condition. I'm just picking 23 as a random number. But, we've just done this many times.
Are you trying to mind fuck me?
I hope you're wearing a condom.
Is the Illuminati completely fake?
I would.
Really fake?
No, not really fake. I would say real, but more real in the sense of the meme than any sort of organization.
Do you know about Operation Mindfuck?
Yeah, the dude, I forget his name, but he's the guy that was working out of Playboy.
Yeah.
And he was writing about Oswald, right? Isn't that the same guy?
I'm not too sure what else he did, but basically, Operation Mindfuck is it put the words about the Illuminati out there, and then people believed it. And I always thought the Illuminati were like a real group. I didn't know it was just some bullshit.
Well, they are a very
yeah, they existed, but they're not. They don't exist today. They're not out there doing stuff.
I would say as a meme, the Illuminati is 100% yes, real. As a physical, like card-carrying organization,
yeah.
I mean, all of the. Oh God, I'm starting to see shit again. All of the just the celebrities with the, just all of the like generic satanic shit. I mean, some of it's kind of fun, but others it's just like, come on.
Well, celebrity's real. The Zeitgeist is definitely real. There's definitely some storytellers doing something, but I don't know who they are. The storytellers.
Yeah.
Did you ever tell a lie, caller? Did you ever tell a lie that people thought were real? That was real? Did you ever tell a lie and get away with it?
I think if I sat here and thought about it long enough, I could probably. Oh, I love this job.
There you go.
I love this place. Everything works. The medication works great.
So most of the time, you are building the story of society yourself. I do too, especially at work when the scientists are sticking things in places they shouldn't be. I'm like, hey, that feels great. I love you. I'll do anything for you. Just don't fire me. It's a very strange existence that we are existing within because of words.
oh God, what's her name? Sort of I might remember. She's a wordsmith, poet. She was on Greg Carlwood. Her name starts with an L, maybe?
Maybe Leanne or Lauren or Lori or Lavish or Lucy or Lorraine.
Could be
Laverne.
Lavash. And LaGrange. Shit.
Lorena.
I'll circle back and try and dig it out if I can remember. But she's got some amazing examples of just how bizarre language, specifically English, can get. You look at prophet, pray, and pray. I mean, you got 4 different words there, but you got prophet, pray, and prophet, pray.
Lisa?
Prophet, pray, and Lisa. Yeah. That sounds correct.
Lolita? Is that his name?
Oh, man, now you're going to make me look it up.
It's...
Shit.
You don't have to... Laurel Erica? Liesa? Liza?
Find the L entry in dictionary names. Words.
How come we know? Do you know who Lorena Bobbitt is?
Unfamiliar.
When is that gonna stop? Like the kids.
Lorena Bobbitt?
Does like the average 20-year-old child know who Lorena Bobbitt is?
Mm-mm. I mean, shit. I don't know.
I don't know either. Is there anybody in the chat right now who doesn't know who Lorena Bobbitt is? I heard she was a wordsmith.
Laurel Erica.
Yeah, that's Servo. Servo is just look in the chat. Servo is God. Servo is like Chat GPT.
Servo GPT. Well, hey, you know what? I made it through Act 1, Scene 1. Not bad. Not bad. I got some nice looks. I think I'm going to pack up.
How's it going, Ireside Chatters?
Whoa.
Sorry about that.
Is that me or you?
That was me. I clicked the link that Servo posted. I thought it was going to be a funny little clip. It's an 2 hour long show. It's okay.
Yeah. I would say Greg Carlwood is the guy that just really, in the grand scheme of things, kicked it all off for me. That's the first show I really got into. The first podcast was a show called All Systems Goku. It was a Dragon Ball Z podcast? Yeah, it was 2 guys that were doing a watch through of the Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Oh, I thought it was just 2 guys yelling at each other the whole time.
Well, if I recall correctly, I think they had another podcast that was a wrestling podcast, pro wrestling.
That's cool.
So they were kind of watching it in that, with that lens, you know.
Did they have good microphones? Oh, it was the first podcast you listened to, so probably not.
Yeah, I didn't really come to understand what it meant to have good audio until I started listening to Adam and John, and that was right at that same time when everybody started kicking off Zoom calls and recording them. So I learned real quick, like, what it means to sound good.
It means $200 to $300, probably a little bit more.
Which is that's not bad.
It's not, but a lot of people are like, wait, $200 to $300? Nah.
Well, I gotta spend that? Shit.
Because, like, I would love to play the saxophone, right? But how much does the saxophone cost? It's more money
that
than
I
I'd
cannot
want to
tell ya.
spend just to fuck around with it.
Fuck around and sax out.
Yeah, I would love to fuck around with a sax. I've never blown a sax.
It reed instruments are. I never had the embouchure for it.
I've never had the money for it.
Ugh.
Or the space.
Well,
you know, buying a big thing takes up a lot of space. But a microphone doesn't really take up too much space. Or an interface. I want a sax, Fletch. Fletch, can you sax? Fletch, do you? I want to hear some Fletch on the sax.
What if you got one of those Kenny G saxophones? They're real skinny. That should make them cheaper, right?
If I get that, I have to buy like one of those giant fans too, though, to play it while I'm blowing it. My tail flapping in the wind.
Why do you need it? Why do you need to buy a giant fan when you got the sewer denizens?
I guess I could. Caller, you want to know something really weird?
Sure, always.
I'm going to tell you a really weird story here. Did you know that in the 17th century, there was a Dutch guy named Terrer, and he ate everything.
Oh, yeah, he would eat glass and rocks and all sorts of crazy shit, metal.
He ate an entire basket of apples. He ate a dozen eggs. This doesn't sound very impressive. He ate a whole sheep in one sitting. That's pretty impressive. Well, then again, how big was the sheep? I used to eat sheep. He traveled. He joined a freak show. He joined a traveling freak show, and he would eat live animals on stage, and he died at the age of 26 from eating habits, from extreme eating habits. Died from. Do you think that story is real?
I definitely know this story, but I was under the impression that the guy he actually lived quite a long time. But
and this was in the 17th century, right? It was
I might be thinking of a more modern guy, because there's some dude that's rolling around now or like the early to mid aughts into the early 2010s. He would like run around and not drink toxic stuff, but stuff that would make you definitely sick.
Oh, like
and
shoe nice?
Just had
yeah, he's still around. But
okay, yeah.
But did they have newspapers in 1772?
Yes.
They did?
Yeah. That's what Ben Franklin was doing. He was, I don't know if he was printing more papers or banging more hoes.
He was in the military too. Interesting. Blueberry?
Yes.
Would you like to say goodnight to the internet?
Good night, sweet internet.
So I gotta play some music now, but it was good talking to you, and I hope you have a good time with that lighting console.
I've actually just powered it down. I have. Hold on, let me check the time. I've got 33 minutes until the alarms kick on. So I am GTFOing.
You don't want to get stuck there.
Up.
Well, you get those earplugs.
Well, if I get stuck here.
Get the hell out of there before the alarms go off. Oh my God. Doing Nothing is Something by Roxy Lau. right. Okay, check this one out. Check this one out here. That's a good song. Roxy La, thank you so much. Thank you, all the music. It's CC by 3.0. It's all on SoundCloud. You could all go there. Go to the Nick Rat, /thing, blah, blah. Happy to. Hey, oh. All right, check out this story. I was thinking I was going to change it around to just fuck with people, but I'm not gonna. This is just straight. The dancing plague of 1518. Have you heard of the dancing plague? Started with a woman in July of 1518. She goes out in the streets and starts boogie woogie woogieing. Boogie woogie, hoogie woogie, boogie woogie, boogie woogieing. I already have so many questions. Did she die? This is a plague? I don't understand. What the hell was going on here? I do have a theory about what the what was the thing going on here. Dance till you're dead. That'd be very cool. TikTok dancing plague of 2020. Chat room's crazy. It stopped in September. By early September, the outbreak stopped. So it was like a 2-month-long hoedown. What was written about it in physician notes, there was cathedral sermons, there was notes by city council that this happened, that there was victims, they were dancing, they don't know why, but there was an outbreak of dancing after the single woman started dancing, and the dancing did not seem to die down for 2 months straight. It kept going. It lasted so long that it even got the attention of the bishops and some other douchebags that were high up there. A lot of doctors, they took these people and they put them in a hospital. Now, what this sounds like is bullshit. It sounds like what else was going on in Strasbourg in 1518? There was probably some little revolution. A lot of people were probably killed and just disappeared. You believe they were all nuns? They might have been nuns. I don't know. Now there's controversy over whether these people danced till they dead. But some sources, they said that the plague killed around 15 people a day. So 15 people a day were dying from dancing. But to even call it a plague, who knows? People today are saying there was food poisoning, there was hysteria. But to me, this just sounds like there was some uprising. There was probably some uprising, and the people in charge just were like, we're going to kill you. And they probably killed about 15 people a day. And now today we have cabaret laws, right? And that's why we have cabaret laws. Some places you can't dance. There's only certain places where you can dance because of this. Oh, wow. Florence and the Machine released a song that was called Choromania that talks about this. I like Florence and the Machine. World's Worst Dance-a-thon. TikTok's going to get somebody killed. 917-719-5923.
Hello.
Hi.
Job's done. What's next? Job's done. Hello.
Hello. Job is done. Well, thank you. Now go get more wood.
So what is the point of this podcast? I'm learning this with you right as we speak, right now, sir. What end do you have in mind when you do this podcast? because like you could have like 90% of you of yourself wanting to find maybe like the answers to your questions that you ask. But 10% of you is like, well, I really don't want to know the answers to that because I'm scared. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? I'm trying to say is that you are not fully questioning what ghosts are, sir. We could start there. We could end there, too. Sir, the only way you will understand what a ghost is by being completely aware of a ghost as it is happening now. Now, how are we going to do that, sir? Right? Now, what is a ghost? A ghost is what, sir? Where do all dead things live, sir? Can you answer this question? Where do all ghosts and dead things live, sir? I'm waiting. Okay. I suspect that you cannot answer this question fully, so. Dead things live in the past, sir. Where is the past? The past is consciousness, sir. Have you ever thought something? Have you ever had an idea?
Not really.
Have you ever used your imagination? Well, that's a dead thing, sir. You could use it and pretend it's living, but life lets you fucking live confused. Life lets you do whatever you want, sir. Life will let you do a podcast since 2014 and never understand life. So I'm asking, what are you trying to do when you're asking about ghosts? Well, you're not really trying to find out the truth of ghosts, sir. You are only...
Hey, Nick, it's me, Terry, the absolute fool. Listen, buddy, I made up a joke just specifically for us, sir. For everybody here, for Blueberry, for Servo, for Stillwater, for Nick the Rat, for anybody, dude, and everybody. It goes like this. There was a mental institution, an insane asylum, and a guard worked there. And every afternoon, about 11 p.m., he'd go check on the inhabitants of this insane asylum. So he gets his keys together and gets over there and walks to the first door. And he peers inside the window, small window, and he sees the caller north of the south. And he looks in there and looks at him, and the caller north of the south is a big fat guy. And he's walking around, and he's acting like he's putting stuff up his ass, and he'll take it out, and
oh my
stuff
God,
up his ass, and he'll go and act like he's painting it, and then he'll hide he'll go hide it somewhere, and then hop around a little bit. And the guard was kind of like, what the fuck? And the guard goes, boom, boom, boom. Things on the door. He says, caller, north of the south. What the fuck you doing, boy? He goes, and the caller goes, I'm practicing. When I get out, I'm gonna steal chicken eggs, and I'm gonna put them in my ass and boil them, and then I'm gonna dress up like a Easter bunny and paint the eggs and hide the eggs. And I'm gonna be better than the Easter bunny and better than all the chickens and the equator. And stupid shit. And the guard, he said, God damn it, boy. I like that line of thinking. Thinking like that, you'll be out of here in no time. Keep it up, son. I'm proud of you. Yeah. So, the guard walks down to the door, and he peers into the small window, and he sees, well, it's Nick the Rat. Now, somehow Nick the Rat has managed to get all of his podcast equipment in there, and it looks just like his room, like it would be in the sewer. He's in there, he's doing all these clips, and he's watching old shit and pasting, copy and pasting, and listening to fucking stupid-ass technology. Putting in there and doing all this, and then he'll go over there by the toilet, make fart sounds, and he'll go over there in the other corner and pretend to be Zindu, and the guy's watching all this. What the fuck?
Okay. You know, the only thing stranger than that caller is probably the Linguini brothers singing about rats.
Oh my gosh. There's rats. They're running around my house. I need to call an exterminator now.
Hey, squad, turn that up, man.
Linguini bros, help. Rats don't wear hats, they have flaps, and they can't rap. But they can have chats with other rats. Now they're on the map. That Pat owns being chased by cats, smashing through a wall. They got a call and took a picture at Niagara Falls. Well, great. Now the rats live in a bin and we don't sin, but we be eating those Slim Jims. I only eat limes because I am on time with those rhymes that don't even get paid a dime. But I got in the car, we went pretty far.
You know we're gonna go to the bar, have a beer. Don't hit a deer on the way here. Why should I care if you hit a bear? Cause your hair? That's not fair. He will care. Now I'm thinking out of the square.
That rat's pretty dang fat, don't even chat when you slip on the mat. Rat-a-tat-tat, slap the gat. Help me, Matt, I am in that combat. Hit you with a baseball bat, talk to the rat, then look at the stat, then I get pet cat.
The rat, in fact, put on an act, look flat. You got a bat, stomp on your rat, but I keep him a rat. I hit your hat, and I think buy a bat. I think I'll hit you with a baseball bat. Hey, yeah, you're just like my friend Black. I'll splat because you're in my face. I got a rat, not like my cat. My mat is flat.
Rats aren't as good as cats. They hit the mat when it is flat. You are kind of fat, but I just got bit by a bat. Or was it a rat?
Or a bat.
Cats are enemies of rats. Rat-a-tat-tat-rat.
Rat-a-tat-rat.
So I jump ship in Hong Kong, and I make my way over to Tibet, and I get on as a looper at a course over there in Himalayas. A looper? A looper. You know, a caddy, a looper. Jack. So I tell them I'm a pro Jack, and who do you think they give me? The Dalai Lama himself, the 12th son of the Lama. The flowing robes, the grace, bald, striking. So I'm on the first tee with him. I give him the driver. He hauls off and whacks one. Big hitter, the Lama. Long. Into a 10,000-foot crevice right at the base of this glacier. Do you know what the Lama says?
No.
Gunga Galunga. Gunga Gunga La Gunga. So we finish 18, and he's going to stiff me. And I say, hey, Lama, hey, how about a little something, you know, for the effort, you know. And he says, oh, there won't be any money. But when you die, on your deathbed, you will receive total consciousness. So I got that going for me, which is nice.
FCC, an appointed body, not elected, answerable only to the president, decided on its own that radio and television were the only two parts of American life not protected by the First Amendment to the Constitution. And why did they decide that? Because they got a letter from a minister in Mississippi. A Reverend Donald Wildman in Mississippi heard something on the radio that he didn't like. Well, Reverend, did anyone ever tell you there are two knobs on the radio? Of course, I'm sure the Reverend isn't that comfortable with anything that has two knobs on it. But hey, Reverend, there are two knobs on the radio. One of them turns the radio off, and the other one changes the station. Imagine that, Reverend. You can actually change the station. It's called freedom of choice, and it's one of the principles this country was founded upon. Look it up in the library, Reverend, if you have any of them left when you finish burning all the books. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I am getting pretty sick and tired of these fucking church people. I have just about had it with these fucking church people, all of them. You know what I say we ought to do with these churches? Tax them. Tax these motherfuckers. If they're so interested in politics and government policy and public policy, let them pay their admission price like everybody else. Tax them. Hey, the Catholic Church alone could wipe out the federal budget deficit if all you did was tax them on their real estate holdings.
I tell you what, if I was sucking my own dick, the hardest part would
be resisting to suck it hard.
Yeah.
You would just be like, oh my God, I can't wait to get going. They'd be like a little foreplay.
I'd be like,
I know. Would you just be breathing on it? Like teasing yourself?
I would love to suck my
Would
own
you start
dick.
with your balls?
I would spend so much time down there. I'd eat my ass.
Yeah.
Eat my ass. I'd suck my dick. I'd be playing with my balls.
Yeah.
I'd be pinching my nipples.
I'd be pinching my nipples. I'd be licking my taint. Yeah.
I'd do it all.
And I'd be like, you're not ready for this.
I would definitely come in my mouth. I'd come all over my face.
Oh my God. It's not gay, right? If you do like right? No.
You come on your own face.
No.
It's not gay.
No.
The Dalai Lama, like legitimately, like I don't know that he's.
He got canceled.
The Dalai Lama got canceled.
Dalai Lama got canceled. He was saying a bunch
How?
of sexist shit.
What?
Yeah, he was.
Well, here's the thing.
It was a while back. Let me remember what he was saying. Oh, he was talking about how he doesn't want to get married, and he sees his friends that are all married, and a lot of times they get divorced and they lose all their money. And then this lady goes, well, sometimes the woman has her own money. She makes her own money. He goes, yeah, good one.
Oh, what? The Dalai Lama said that?
Yes, yes.
Women always go on TV, they say all they want is to be treated exactly like guys. But if you listen to them, they don't. All they want is the good of being a guy. They're cherry picking. They look at a guy's life like it's like a buffet, right? Like you just can start picking out stuff, like same amount an hour, we'll take some of that, pay for the movie, that, you can keep that one. And I'm like, this girl gives me shit. She goes, well, why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job? I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for? Well, at least let the women and children go. Well, what about me? Where are all those feminists then? There are no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminist, little short, little haircut, Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope.
Here's what was always said around me when I was growing up. If you rearrange the letters of sister, it spells resist. And that's the truth, boy. So that's the rule right there. If both y'all have the same parents, then no candles at dinner. You know what I'm saying?
Name me, if you can, a noble action performed or a noble thought uttered by a believer in God that could not be uttered by a non-believer. Name a wicked action performed or a wicked thing said by someone purely because of their religious faith. You don't even have to blink before you've thought of one. We are part of the natural order. We're not a specially created species. We have no unique privilege. Bleak though it may be, at least it's realistic. It doesn't mean that we have to live without irony. Doesn't mean we have to live without humor. Doesn't mean we have to live without solidarity, or any of the other things that make life, A, bearable, and B, possible. Rabbi Bachir has been contradicting himself directly all evening. He began by saying that our good qualities, our heroic and noble and gentle and generous qualities, are innate in us. He's quite right in saying that. Yes, they are innate in us. That is precisely the point. Religion borrows its morality from us, not we from religion. God is man-made.
You have to listen.
Wait,
do you think you can improve America by
we
determinedly and avowedly condemning Fox News without acknowledging that you're participating in the same game? Did you not just listen to someone who plainly, legitimately believes in this country and believes it's possible to change, but is bound by corruption, is bound by the lobbying system? Surely it's clear to you, Bill, as one of the great pundits and experts and comic voices, that systemic change is required. Money has to be taken out of politics. We need new political systems that genuinely represent ordinary Americans so that we can overcome cultural differences. And bickering about which propagandist network is the worst is not going to save a single American life, not improve the life of a single American child, not going to improve America's standing in the world, and the world needs a strong America. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. So you have an obligation, a duty.
Ask me some question about, I don't know, some complicated physics question.
Tell me a little bit about how Einstein's field equations are derived.
Oh, yeah, I got that. I go get my phone. I start Googling stuff. I know nothing. But if I say to you, like, hey, can you just walk us through like the stages and the causes of homelessness?
I mean, I have opinions on that. I wouldn't presume to say that I know better than experts in that field, but I certainly have opinions on that.
Dude, everybody in here has an opinion about everything that we're talking about in here, which makes it even doubly complicated. But at least in your field, you don't have people kind of thinking that they know and then disagreeing. Well, you have the flat earthers, right?
Yeah, well, and they're growing.
There are still those in science who say the exquisite nature of the universe, the exquisite laws of the universe, are evidence of a designer, of a creator. Mm-hmm. Does that view make sense to you?
It's very tempting. We want to be thought of as children being cared for by an omnipotent, omniscient, and benevolent creator. I mean, think of all the uncertainties and turmoil and terrors of our life, which would be made less terrifying if this were true. But here, if anywhere, is a case where we must not believe because we want it to be true. I'm not saying I know the answer to this. This is one of the deepest questions. We do not know the answer. We simply have to keep an open mind. All of us, philosophers, scientists, religious people, no one, in fact, knows. If the universe was always here, if the universe was infinitely old, then there's nothing for a creator to do. Most of us would be surprised to hear that the universe is going to end one day. We expect the universe to go on forever into the future. Why do we have the idea that it doesn't go on forever into the past?
I've been involved in the magazine business and in the newspaper business, and I have never been able to decide whether there is somebody way up on top who passes orders down, or whether there is just a tremendous collection of idiots in those businesses. I still have an open mind about whether there are invisible string pullers or there's just plain stupidity. But some issues just never get raised in the mass media. As, for instance, to get away from sociology to the merely trivial, Dan Quayle buying marijuana. That got out through the underground, what's the word I'm looking for? Through the less well-known radio stations. It popped up on 2 radio stations in L.A., and then I found out it popped up on WBAI in New York, and the word has gradually got out, but not through the mass media. There are some things that just never get into the mass media, and it's very hard to find out why not.
like Gary V or whatever that guy's name is, Jerry V, telling people to fucking sell their home and sleep in their yard. You know what I'm saying? And that dude was raised on a damn wine farm or something, dude. He's at there fucking, you know what I'm saying, dude, hiding grapes in his ass at night. Freezing grapes and fucking hiding them in his ass. And he's telling people how to struggle. Dude, that guy's out of his mind. He's like, oh, damn, dude. Oh, you still have silverware in your house? Fucking sell it. And then he shows up and he'll like hug the dude. The guy can't even, he has no way to get food in his mouth, you know? The guy's fucking just knuckling through some chowder, knuckling through some bouillabaisse. And he's like, no worries, man. You made $76 last night. And he hugs him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck? And then he drives off and the family's just standing there in a park. Another winner. That guy's out of his fucking mind, dude. And he hugs, oh, you sold 2 extra Christmas sweaters you didn't need from last year, and they're crying together. Dude. Like, what is going on, dude?
Oh, man.
But anyway, I don't, and look, man.
I got to give some love to my boy, Gary V.
Oh, I'm sorry. The videos, I'm not saying the guy's not a smart guy. The videos, though, and the guy grew up well off.
Well, no, I think he actually didn't grow up well off. That's part of his.
Oh, and
that's
I could
part
be
of his
lying.
deal. No, you partially lying, but it's not really lying if you don't know. But he grew up. You know, his dad owned like a corner liquor store or something, and he did. You know, he got after it and created the.
But in my neighborhood, a corner liquor store is the same as a winery.
Yeah,
okay,
true. Right. So if you're looking at it from Theo Vaughn's perspective, hell yeah, he grew up like big time.
Oh yeah, look at these dudes over here, huh?
What are the negative benefit or the negative effects of this?
This is an explosive area of conversation, and puts my life in danger. So I reserve the right not to answer your question.
Whoa. I didn't expect that. It puts your life in danger talking about portobello mushrooms? He's looking at me silently. I will respectfully move on.
Thank you.
So anybody who's interested, just Google that and get back to me.
Some members of Discordianism were working at Playboy magazine, and Thornley decided that he was going to use Playboy magazine to start an experiment that would make people see how absurd all conspiracy theories really were. He called it Operation Mindfuck. In 1969, he and Greg Hill began Operation Mindfuck by placing a false letter in the Playboy letters page. They put it between another letter asking if gun fanatics had small penises, and one from a man asking about the physical danger to his testicles from heavy petting. Thornley's fake letter asked whether all the political assassinations in America were really being masterminded by a single secret society, and the society it named was the Illuminati. It said that the Illuminati were behind all the chaos and the fear that was now gripping America. He and the other Discordians then proceeded to spread this idea all across America through the counterculture, in magazines and books, and even in plays. Thornley's aim was to try and break the spell of conspiracy theories by making people see the absurdity of believing them. And he had chosen the Illuminati for the experiment because no one could possibly believe that an 18th century organization from Bavaria was really, in the second half of the 20th century, the secret rulers of the modern world. It was clearly ridiculous.
Could you talk a little bit about an idea I've heard attributed to you called Operation Mindfuck? It sounds like a counter-propaganda technique similar to H.G. Wells' radio hoax.
Operation Mindfuck is a form of guerrilla ontology. It's a group effort involving many people, and it is an attempt to galvanize the minds of many readers and television viewers and moviegoers to suddenly see the world in a new way. And membership in Operation Mindfuck is not secret. It's just once you understand what Operation Mindfuck is, If you are a writer or a director or otherwise involved in the entertainment, literature, theater game, you just automatically become a member if you're sympathetic to it, and Operation Mindfuck rolls merrily along. And since it is no centralized conspiracy, nobody can ever stop it because there's nobody giving the orders. It's the only purely anarchist movement in the arts today. And it's very easy to recognize the members. You'll find 23s popping up in their works. You'll find references to the oncoming Yin Revolution, the Aquarian conspiracy, space travel, and there's an old Italian proverb: when four sit down to conspire, three of them are fools and the fourth is a government agent. And so I don't believe, and I believe with modern surveillance techniques, that's more true than ever. And any overt action against the power structure is doomed to failure because of the techniques of control that have been developed. But the anarchistic impulses of art cannot be governed. I think more and more of the culture shapers are becoming part of Operation Mindfuck, and the whole world is having its mind fucked. And I'm very happy that I can play a humble part in this noble endeavor.
Listen, you queer. Stop calling me a crypto-Nazi. Let's stop calling names. You in your goddamn face, and you'll stay plastered.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, my name is Ricky, and I'm calling on behalf of Disease Prevention Program. How are you doing today?
Hi, Ricky. You said disease prevention?
Actually, this call is just to let you know you are pre-qualified to receive free rapid COVID test kits covered by Medicare Part A and Part B. That will be without any cost to you. So just wanted to confirm you do have Medicare Part A and Part B active, right?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay, that's great. So you're pre-qualified. Let me
I'm
transfer
sick
you
right
to the
now.
dispatch department to place the order. And do remember, this has no cost to you.
Okay.
It's covered under your Medicare Part B insurance. So let me transfer you now.
Transfer me, please. I'm feeling really sick. Hello? Hello?
Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line and you'll be transferred to the next available agent.
Thank you.
Thanks for reaching the prevention program. My name is Jennifer. How are you doing today?
Jennifer, I'm really sick. I don't feel so good. You hung up on me, you bitch? You said you were going to give me some fucking COVID test and you hang up on me? This is what you're really going to do? You're going to fucking... Thank you.
Well, it depends what you mean themselves, and it's hard. To discover new relationships computers can do. There have been computers which do things like theorem proving in geometry or something, in which they've converted the problem of finding a proof of a theorem into a definite procedure. Okay? And once you do that, although it's an elaborate and dumb way to do proofs, it can do it. At the present time, a computer can't do all the different things that a person can do, you know? It's very difficult to find some way of defining rather precisely something we can do that we can say a computer will never be able to do. There are some things that people make up that say that while it's doing it, will it feel good? Or while it's doing it, will it understand what it's doing? Or some other abstraction. I rather feel that these are things like, while it's doing it, will it be able to scratch the lice out of its hair? No, it hasn't got any hair to lice to scratch from, okay? So you got to be careful when you say what the human does. If you add to the actual result of his effort some other things that you like, the appreciation of the aesthetic. You didn't do that. I'm not saying you did. But a lot of people do that when they ask questions. And if we add things that we think we're doing on top of what we're actually doing, just look at not just the result of what we're doing, but a lot of extra things. Then it gets harder and harder for the computer to do it because the human beings have a tendency to try to make sure that they can do something that no machine can do. Somehow it doesn't bother them anymore. It must have bothered them in early times that machines are stronger physically than they are. They can lift weights that are heavier than people. They can move things faster than people. They can run faster. They can fly. They can do just terrible strengths and so forth. And we don't still sit around worrying that there's some way that the man can turn his hand, that some machine can't do that. We can easily make machines that are better than us in predicting the weather, for instance, because what you do to predict the weather is to look at old records and see when the circumstances were similar and guess that the results will be similar. Added to that, a certain amount of analysis of the movement of wind according to the laws of physics and a certain amount of hocus pocus put together, okay? Now, the speed will be higher and the effectiveness of the predictions greater if you could look at more cases so you get a better chance of getting one closer and put a longer and more elaborate calculation, including more variables, which is too hard for us to do in time to make the prediction. No? We have to make the prediction of the weather. Let's say the weather for 3 days from now has to be predicted in 3 days or the damn thing is useless, right? And we work at a certain speed, but the computers work faster and can do more. And therefore, for instance, for weather prediction, in the end, maybe not today, but someday, it's not at all inconceivable that the machine could do weather prediction faster and more effectively and more accurately than we do. We will have, however, given it the procedure. Now, the question is, what happens if we don't give it the procedure? Well, people have tried this game of giving it, instead of a direct procedure, a kind of what has been called heuristics. Try an analogy to get a new idea of how to do something. Compare this to that. Try an extreme case, etc. And a man by the name of Lennart has gone the furthest with this. Do I have time? How much time do I have? Because we want to see these slides. What time? I know that's interesting information, but how much time do I have? It's time for the slideshow now. Since I have no more time, I will say no more about the subject. What? No, but it takes a few minutes. That's why I asked for the time. Okay, he make this machine, which was again a filing cabinet, you understand. What it does is it tries to find the answer to something by looking at the different possibilities, but which ones he tries is something like patterns in the chess. Instead of everything, it says try moves near the center of the board first, and never mind the ones in the corner or something like that, or some sorts of principles. And he first applied it to a kind of naval game. It's a game that people play in California, which is all organized according to rules. It's kind of fun. Someone sets out all the rules. Dreadnoughts cost this much, armor costs this much, guns cost this much, and so forth. And you got this much budget for your Navy. And you're going to make various kinds of ships with different kinds of armaments. And then this kind of a ship, armament of a certain thickness that costs a certain amount, can only resist shells of a certain strength, and so on. So you try to, with the money, arrange to design different kinds of ships so that your Navy is better than the next one. And when they're brought together, there's ways of calculating it's not real navies. It's a game. Which is the best one, and all the rules are laid out in a great big volume, okay, of the costs of everything and the power of everything and the armor-piercing possibilities and so on. And it's a nice game. And Mr. Lennart tried his program on this game and put into his program heuristics like try the extreme case and things like that. And he won the championship in California. Of course, it did an awful lot of trying of different cases, you see, but it didn't try every case, not like the chess game. There were too many things. But it was guided by its own stuff. Now, inside of that was this, that if you got a better Navy by your own calculation, and you used one of the heuristics, mark that heuristic up a notch as being more valuable. Now, use the more valuable heuristics first. See? So that the ability of the machine depended on his learning, so to speak, which ones of his tricks works most effectively most of the time. And then they become more used. So it's just exactly what you would like to make it look intelligent. Well, he won. And how did he win? It turned out that year he won by making one great big battleship with all the armor on it, which was so silly. But when you go to calculate it, sure enough, it's better than any of the normal things, which nobody thought of, but his machine thought of. Next year, he entered again. And this time he won by taking all his money and making 100,000, because they changed the rules so that the big battleship wouldn't win, by changing the rule. 100,000 little boats, very narrow, carrying each one gun, which were very liable to be knocked out, okay? But there were 100,000 of them. Didn't cost much each one. And they couldn't knock them all out. So these lousy little gnats would come. And it turned out when you calculated, again, he won. The third year, he was not allowed to play anymore. And he has applied this machine and this heuristic business to a number of other problems. He tries it out a lot and tries new heuristics and so forth. And it has become very interesting. He complained that there were a number of bugs in it. And when he gave a talk on it, I said that I thought, I'll say my comment afterwards.
What do hedge funds think of technical analysis?
Some of them love it and some of them hate it.
You were sitting at the bar, sir, with your tall mother beer, and all of a sudden a young woman came with blonde hair, looking very mean. She was looking mean, and you smiled, sir, because you were mean that day. You were mean that day, sir. You laughed at her being for mean. Maybe it was because you knew the futility of it. But you laughed at her, sir. You love the meanness, sir. You love the blonde hair and the meanness, sir. It reminded you of a Viking. You would smile, sir. And her as she was, she could not help but smile back to you, sir. And you smiled and said, "Good morning," although it was 5 p.m. You felt as if she had just woken up, mad at the day. And I told her, I said, "You looked at me, I was mad at the world." And she responded to you, "I am mad at the world." She was a very friendly young lady, and her name was Olivia. And I said, "Oh, Olivia told me, cool down, boy. Slow down, I try to catch you." And you had always wished for a certain woman like this, so your whole entire life. You had always wished for this one certain woman, just as she was before you. You know, this woman wasn't a particular sort of woman. It could have been any woman. It could have been Diane, Ryan.
Hello? Oh, hey, Nick. How you doing? Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm doing okay, too. Yep, just sitting here in the truck. Yep. I was wondering how many mannequins you have. 7? That's a lot of mannequins.
I have 8 now.
No. Well, yeah, but not like that.
Caller, are you talking to me? Who are you talking to?
Well, no, that's not what I said.
I don't know what you said.
Well, I did say that. I have only mannequin arms.
What? Those are the best parts.
Yeah, I roll them down the hill and see which one gets down to the bottom. It's like an arms race. We have this rule: if you knock one of the mannequin arms over on poker night, you have to pick up the arm and jerk yourself off with it before you put it back where it goes.
I'd house rule that.
Sometimes I kind of knock them off on purpose, just to, when I'm
So
by
everybody's
myself at the house.
everybody's gonna masturbate.
You know what I'm saying? What? Huh? What the fuck? Why would you say that?
I'm a pervert.
Well, okay, that makes sense. Yep. Yep. You ever built a robot?
Yeah. Do I look stupid?
Well, that didn't count.
Let's listen to another voicemail. 917. 719-5923.
Hey, Nick. How you doing, man? Hope you had a wonderful Easter. It's Rick here in great old Baltimore, Maryland. Actually, Towson to be correct. The sunny heart of Towson. Anyway, I have a question for you, and it just clicked in my head. I've heard you use a lot of different audio clips. Did you by any chance pull them from Over the Edge? I think they were a thing of Negative Land. And for those of you who don't know, and you probably wouldn't, there's a group of mostly audio rips done by a blind person called Banana Vision. And one of the things they have on there is the Over the Edge archives. So you can just look up Banana Vision. Most of it won't give any interest to sighted people because it's like audio rips of like 1980s cartoons, because we as blind people do not need the visuals. Although it might be an interesting experiment to listen to them to see how you process just hearing the audio from cartoons and not being able to see the visuals. I had a friend who actually enjoyed coming over to my house, and we would watch different movies because she was tired and she could close her eyes. It was a different experience for her.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'm just curious what you got.
Tell me when you're ready.
We got a lot of these clips from Over the Edge. Didn't they also have another thing? It was something about jailhouse recordings. I don't know. Maybe, like, it sounds familiar from somewhere. I love those weird recordings that you play. Just all kinds of random stuff. The music, it's okay, I guess. But the weird little audio, like clips and stuff, that I like. That's always your interesting topics. Anyway, have a good one. Love and light, love is lit. Don't quote me, boy, I ain't said shit. And if I have a harmonica and knew how to play it, I'd play a little goodbye with a harmonica. All right, once again, this is Rick from Towson. Not Townsend, not Tucson, not Towson, Towson. Bye. Alexa, hang up.
Wasn't there on the website Banana Audio?
Is the Over the Edge
Banana Audio? What?
I don't. You can just look up Banana.
Oh wait, hold on.
Banana Vision.
Banana Vision. Banana Vision. 1 second, caller. I'm doing some research. Caller, how are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. This is Dateline with Dr. Drew Pinsky, correct?
I'm the intern that I work in the office.
I'm trying to reach Dr. Drew Pinsky. I have a real serious relationship problem.
Well, I could screen the call for him. He's very busy. He's busy. Can you tell me about this? I'm not. I work for him.
I can. If you can relay the information and get me a good answer back,
I can do that.
I can handle that.
I'm ready, sir.
You
ma'am,
ready?
I'm here.
All right. Well. All right. So here's the load of shit that I'm in. So to start off, I have a coworker recently that I got very attracted to, just sexually. And she made it obvious she was also attracted to me sexually. We went out and we hung out at a bar. All right. Now, the moment we walk into this bar, she goes, "Hey, my best friend's here. I'm going to introduce you to her." I go, "Okay, cool."
Okay,
she introduces me to best friend, and there's immediate electricity between me and the best friend. And I was always worried this would happen one day, but it finally happened.
A threesome?
Well, that's what I tried, but it didn't work out. I tried to force them with the coworker, the best friend, and some random dyke, and they weren't into it. But I shot my shot. Anyway.
You need better glue than a random dyke in between there,
right? I mean, gorilla glue at least. I mean, she looked a bit like a gorilla, not gonna lie. So, but anyway, I fucked the coworker, And that was great. It was great. It was beautiful, nice little small perky titties, itty bitty titty committee. It was great. But I found out within a couple days, man, I could not get her best friend off my mind. And I did not know what to do. I was like, man, I work with this coworker that I fucked, and now I'm falling for her best friend. And this is a mess. How do I can't continue the relationship with the coworker if I've got a crush on her best friend. That's just kind of shitty. That's a shitty thing to do. And I couldn't just talk to the best friend without clearing it with the coworker, because then I'm a sleazeball. So I clear it after a few days pass and there's not much happening between me and the coworker. I clear it with the coworker. I say, hey, is it cool? I mean, I feel like I got chemistry with your friend. Can I reach out to her? She says, yes. I reach out to her. I send her a message today, basically being like, hey, look, I like you. You're cute. You're the most beautiful woman I ever seen. Cutest person ever, hands down. Couldn't get you off my mind since the moment I saw you. Would you want to go out for drinks? I cleared it with your friend. I've leveled with her, made sure she understood. Sent her this message today, and I still have not gotten a reply back. She read it. I saw she read it. It's on Red.
That could be a good thing.
Read it.
I'm not Dr. Oz, but I've worked with him a long enough time. I think no reply is pretty good, because they're currently talking about you and seeing which one really does want you, if they do want you, or they're trying to figure out a way to get you fired.
Told me that,
and you should maybe buy a gun or something.
I'm sorry.
What? Sorry.
Continue.
What?
Well, I said so I cleared it with the friend. The friend told me she was worried that I was going to tell. I'm sorry. I cleared it with my coworker. I'm just going to give you the names. I mean, there's tons of people with these names. They're not going to know who she is, who they are. No, I'm going to give them real names. Nobody.
Mary and Louise, right?
It's Gabby. Is my coworker. Gabby. And the best friend's name is Kenzie.
Kenzie.
Right? They both end
Spuds.
in E's, because women can't. No, there's no variation between women's names. We have to be simple, and everything ends in Ashley, Kenzie, Gabby, Abby.
If you ever get Kenzie in the doggy style, you could call her Spuds, and she'll be like, I get it.
Oh, you know what the cool thing about
Flip
Kenzie
you a high
is? Her
five.
last name is Dvorak. I feel like she might be related to John C. Dvorak somehow, and that might be why I'm
Dvorak?
so attracted to her. Dvorak. That's a green flag right there, right? That's a green light.
That is, yeah.
Anyway, I reached out to Gabby. Said she was worried that I would be into her. The girl I fucked, the coworker that I fucked, said she was worried that I was into her because she's not ready for a relationship. So she gave me the green light to go ahead and hit up the best friend. So I hit up the best friend. She didn't reply all day, but then she showed up at our job for the first time ever after I asked her out on a date. And I didn't get to talk to her, but basically she was there. She knew I was there. They were all talking about it. I don't know what to do. She hasn't replied to me. They all went out tonight. I asked her out on a date tomorrow night. Still no reply. I don't know what to do, man. I mean, she's fucking just watching me squirm here.
Was she giggling? Was there any giggles going on? Was it giggling or really serious face? Serious face or
giggling? Giggling. All giggles, all smiles, all like hee 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 hee. That kind of shit. Like,
You probably want to move to China tonight. You pack your bags right now and move. You're doomed. You're done.
Pack my bags and move.
You have to leave.
I have to move out of state, or
this country. You have to get out quick.
Another country.
This is a typical CIA hit job. I don't know where you work. Don't tell me, because I don't need this happening on my front lawn. You're gonna get everybody killed. Okay, slow down.
Okay, you're right.
Pack your bags.
I need to be careful about this.
2 pairs of underwear. You can buy them when you get to China or wherever you're going. And just go tonight. Cash out your bank.
So here's the other problem. I also just got told yesterday or the day before that my wife that I've been in an open relationship with is divorcing me. And I have 3 children with one more on the way.
Well,
so
once you go rat, you don't go
I gotta
back.
be around for the children, I'd rather be a fugitive in the country that my children are in than to move to China and just be homeless there.
You want to
There's too many problems.
Pack. You could pack 1 or 2 of them into a bag. You could take them with you.
Oh yeah, I could take 1 or 2 children in a bag.
Like 1 or 2. One of them's got to suck, right? So leave them. Pack the 2 best ones. Pop them in a
You got
bag.
no advice? Hey, Nick, can I ask you a question? Have you ever fallen in love with the best friend of a girl that you've hooked up with?
Man,
that's an awkward situation, right?
I don't know
what do you do there.
I want to know what love is. Do you want to know what love is? I wish you could tell me.
I know I want to know what love is.
Exactly. Love is very strange though, because there is lust and love and just raging hormones, and then there's
exactly right. So that's the reason that I feel so weird is because I've not felt this feeling in a long. I felt lust many times in the recent past, but not this feeling. The fucking the butterflies when you're like in high school and you meet eyes with somebody like across the way and you guys hold eye contact. And in that moment, it's clear that both of you are interested in each other sexually.
Yeah, but there's one thing though. Once you start talking to that person and they figure out who you be or you figure out what they are, it's China. Tomorrow, I'll go with you if you need help. I'm a very supportive person. Right. I'll go with you. You have to pay for my plane ticket.
Okay.
I know a couple women out there, and
okay.
We get to start. We could start over. You and me. We're going to start over.
China is a very viable solution to all of my problems in a serious sense. I mean, I could just leave. I could just get a fake name, something cool like Jackson Bomber. That'll be my new name in China, Jackson Bomber.
That's.
I'll be a con artist who's never really actually been able to pull off a con on anyone, but I con people by telling them I'm a con artist, even though I can't con anyone. Does that make sense?
It does. That's what you told me when I met you.
I remember.
I can't stop thinking about you, by the way. And we're going to China tomorrow.
And you're friends with my best friend. Whoa. Is this another love triangle? Holy shit.
I'm friends with your best friend.
You are friends with my best friend.
I am friends with
I'm pretty sure, maybe. He told me he was friends with some a rat named Nick. I don't know. I assume there might be. I mean, Nick's a pretty common name. There could be a lot of rats named Nick.
Does your friend have a big, gigantic breastises?
No, it's.
Then I don't want to talk to you. All right, let's play another song here. We have coming up next, "Echoes Across Time" by The Fisherman and the Priestess.
5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the meal, the sound goes on in my ears. Thinking, wondering, where is it all going to go? But wherever it's going, seems to be a nice place. As I get ready to go to bed, I'm using this opportunity to contribute. As my sign off for tonight. Thank you for everyone who's putting this together. I'd be very happy to listen to the result. Slow fade into the darkness of the night. All for now. Slow ride in wintertime. Sunshine in my mind. Cyan, 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 Diane, 7 and Cyan, 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 Giant, Cyan, Mayan, Diane, Nyan, Quyan, Cyan, Cyan, Zion, Wyan, 6 Nyan. It could have been any of those. And it would have all been the same woman, sir. You understand what I'm trying to tell you, sir? There is no one but you, except for you, sir. That means every woman that you meet, you could have the same love with. You understand this, sir? every woman that you meet is the same. The same things could happen. It's just that you get stuck on the idea and you call the idea love. But the idea is not love, sir. When you think about someone, sir, that's not love. And we would be aghast to find out that we didn't think about someone we loved. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? That we feel that thinking about others is a good thing. But have you ever had somebody fuck with you? Have you ever had somebody, like, make fun of you? Because when that happens, sir, that could be a bad thing, but it's all a mental process. Love is of the heart. It's not of the mind. It's not a reaction, sir. Love is understanding completely what is happening now. I mean, this takes understanding yourself. If you don't understand yourself, if you're just a podcast host named Nick the Rat, you won't get any of what I'm saying. What I'm saying will just fall off you like dead water. So what are you up to, Nick? What are you trying to do, sir? Because being is not something you can do. So what is it that you're up to, sir? Are you trying to find me? Are you trying to find clarity?
Yes.
What are you doing? Why? What's the purpose of this podcast, sir?
And I'll tell you the purpose of this podcast. All right, so creation in words. You either live a spiritual life or a scientific life or a mixture of both. Now, if in the scientific field, if you build new pathways in your brain, you are experiencing new life. Now, the only way to sometimes get a new pathway in the brain is to hear something you've never heard before. So what I'm trying to do is create new pathways in your brain. And now a pathway is like a tunnel, though. So by building a pathway in your brain, it is kind of tearing your brain apart. Because if your brain has a tunnel in it, a path, then there's no grass in the field. You have to play in the mud. And then the tunnels then are currently there. I don't know if I want to make a hole in your brain or if I don't want to touch your brain at all. The thing is, we're all going to die, so why the fuck not put holes in your brain? That's what's going on. Oh, because every time you hear a word, it's kind of putting another hole through your brain. You can't invent a new word, but you sort of can. There's new sounds and variations of sounds. Like the Googleplex, who fucking knew about that until 20 years ago, and then Google. And now some little motherfucker one day probably said Google at some point. Who knows? Who cares? Let's put some more holes into your brain, though. That sounds fun. And a good way to do that is with words. So let's put some word holes in your face head. What?
In a small town nestled among the trees, a young boy named Max was diagnosed with schizophrenia. The doctors would explain the condition to him, but he always felt that he was fine. He knew these doctors were liars and just wanted to line their pockets. It was the doctors who plotted against him with their white coats and their pills that they tried to force him to swallow. Max was scared and didn't know who to trust. Not these doctors, though. Fuck no. One day, Max decided he had had enough of the doctors and their treatments. He escaped from the hospital and fled to the woods one night. It was a daring escape, and he was almost caught by one of the large guards, but he slipped some pills into their coffee, and they were probably dead now. There, he felt free, and for a time, he was able to forget about the world outside, and he focused on his inside self. In the woods, Max began to write wild and disturbing stories about entities that came from other dimensions and embedded themselves into our reality. Sizeless blobs of horror that dripped evil out of every orifice. He wrote about beings that could control people's thoughts and actions, and of other creatures that could manipulate reality itself. The stories he wrote became darker and more twisted as he dove deeper into his own mind. As time went by, people in the town started to take notice of Max's stories. They began to see him as a prophet, a messenger from another world. They believed that his words held the key to unlocking some great mystery, something that had been hidden from them for centuries. They were able to see the evil coming into their reality and started noticing the horrors that were springing up in their own town right under their noses. The evil that Max had written about soon realized that people were beginning to listen to him. It knew that if it didn't act soon, it would lose control over this world forever. They wanted to keep hold on the souls of this planet's inhabitants, so they sent a pack of wolves with 3 eyes to hunt and kill the boy. Max was caught off guard as the wolves closed in. They were huge, with teeth as long as his fingers and eyes that seemed to glow in the dark. But Max was not afraid. He stood his ground and fought back, using nothing but his bare hands and his own will. The battle was fierce, but in the end, Max was victorious. He had vanquished the wolves and proved that he was stronger than anyone had ever imagined. But as he lay there, battered and bruised, he knew that it was all for naught. The evil had already spread, and no one would be able to stop it now. Max closed his eyes, knowing that he had done everything he could, and slowly bleed out. He felt the warm blood leaving his body, and his vision turned white. And as he slipped away from this existence, the evil spread without anyone noticing, waiting for the next prophet to rise and challenge it once again. The end.
Anyway, I'm going to get this party started.
You're building a rat ship here. Okay.
Yep. Welcome to New York, motherfucker.
Morning to you, sir. Nick the Rat.
The rat who...
The rat! Hi, hi, everybody. Whoa, slow down there, Gulliver. We learned a lot. Tonight. We learned that words. We learned yin yang balance. We learned about balance. Everything's balance. As the great unraveling flings our existence into all the parts around the world. Things are happening, people. Things that we have no control over. There's rich people out there. Just think about the few rich people. I'm sure you don't know them. Maybe you might know a couple of rich people, but there's people out there with so much money that they could probably change their area code up at least a little bit. But they don't. They just hoard it, which is understandable. If I had money, I'd hoard it. What are we talking about here? Hortits? God, I need to go to therapy. Look here, people. I had a great Wednesday evening with you. It's late night. You guys are late night warriors. I could talk about. There's a couple other weird things that have happened in our reality. Has there? Okay, check this one out. I'm going to leave you with this one here. Back in 1582. The day after October 4th was declared October 15th in Italy and other Catholic countries. This was the part of the switch from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar. They lost 11 days. And some people started to riot. They wanted their stolen days back. All right, I want you to think about this. This story is from 1582. How many people were on the planet back then? Like 20? And there's a story about this. Okay, think about that. Put that into your pocket. Tell people at work. Tell people... Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. Go to work tomorrow. I want you to be like, hey, did you know in 1530 something, people got 11 days stolen from them, and they were mad. So they started dancing in the streets for 2 months until some guy came along and ate them. You let them know that. And then they'll look at you, and you're going to probably have sex with your coworker or your friend's coworker's friend's sister. Resist. We much. And about that, we will be back next week. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I hope everybody is do a promo for next week. Oh, well, I want to make sure it happens first. Hold on one second. Well, there's going to be I heard the No Agenda where they were talking about. I don't think they combined the Dark Sewer Network with Nick the Rat. I don't think John and Adam are down with the sewer scientist. I think they just know me. But so they're like, Mimi's going on the well, yeah, I definitely need to talk to Mimi because I want to talk to her about lucid dreaming because John mentioned that she could do that, and I want to talk about eggs and chickens and motivation. She seems to be very motivated. But next week on it's scheduled for Tuesday. I gotta get in touch and make sure it all works out. I'll be interviewing Shannon Taggart, friend of I think she's a friend of Trey. I don't know if Trey is her friend, or I definitely know she's a friend of Mr. Starkweather. He's mentioned her before, and I've never interviewed her yet, but I've looked through her book, Seance, and I have a lot to ask her. And that's coming up next week. And hopefully, well, if all Diane, is that going to work out? Diane? Where's Diane? Is she still up in the top piece of the closet? Okay, well, look, that's going to happen next week, and we will be back then with stuff, and it should be a fun time. Unless words fucking fuck shit up, which probably will. Either way, let's listen to some music to close the show. I love you all. You're beautiful motherfuckers until the day you die. Unless you're like leaking. If you're leaky, leaky is probably one of the least attractive traits to have. Like, oh, look at, you're like, let's just say like a generalization, like, oh, old people, hey, ew, old people. But just put somebody that's leaky next to an old person, and the old person is sexy as fuck. Anyway, this is Last Warning by Curse Core. See you next week, everybody. Good night, America. Love you all.
Fuck that shit! Okay!
God damn it, Nick! I played so good, Nicholas, but then when I call you, sir, you see, that's when the fear creeps in and the creativity leaves. You see, sir. Hey, by the way, this is me, Terry, from France. I'll make this some short, brother. On with the show.
Mom! Dad!
You've been banned.